Well, good morning to you, and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lawyer Show for a Saturday morning. And this morning, we welcome to the program the author of the book, Maximize Your Medicare, our Medicare and health insurance expert. And hopefully, if I do this right, we will say good morning to J.O. Jay, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you? Thank you. Good.
Now, the reason I said hopefully is it's a little different this morning, folks. The radio show will be a radio show. You'll hear it just like you always do. But as you know, over the past month or so, we've been streaming video of me doing the show. Well, this morning, as a bonus, we have both myself and Jay up on the screen, so you can watch both of us do this interview if you are so inclined. Or you can, of course, continue to listen on the radio, which is the primary way we do this. But you can watch us on twitch.tv, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter at WSGW Radio. And you should be able to watch us live. And in some cases, it's archived, and you can watch it again later. And I know, Jay, you're a product of this technological age. I've done some of these on-screen things with you.
That's right.
But it's still something you got to get used to, isn't it?
It is something you got to get used to, but the reality is video being so predominant and all these other multimedia streams. I don't need to tell someone with your experience in radio.
Ever changing.
The world is changing.
That's right. It is indeed. And so is Medicare and health insurance, ever changing, it seems. So let's start with Medicare. Anything new in that arena? Are we still in that window? They had a newer window that they allowed us to be in until mid-May or something like that.
It ended at the end of March, and that is called the Medicare Advantage Open Enrollment Period. Don't ask me why they named it that way, but that is what that period was called.
Let's open about it.
No, and that's exactly right, is that it leaves people with the wrong impression too frequently. But that ended on the end of March. That said, if you live in a location where you've been affected by a natural disaster as defined by FEMA, for example, there's an election period and special enrollment period for you. So for persons not in your local listening area, but one in the nation at large, that is certainly possible. In addition to that, if something has changed, meaning that you've stopped working, you've retired, etc., people very frequently say, do I have to wait until the end of the year to retire and things like that and to avoid penalties? No, that is not the case. That is, if you've had health insurance from your employer and you were working and you stopped working for whatever reason, then you have rights hugely in your favor. Crazy people write books about, all the different options that you have.
His book is called Maximize Your Medicare, friends. I don't consider him a crazy person, though. So, in terms of what we're going to discuss in some of these changes in healthcare, Medicare is not affected then, is it?
It isn't, although I think that, persons do need to be aware that, and really today is really quite a set of game-changing facts. But there is the proposal out there, which has been floated, is to lower the Medicare eligibility age from 65 down to 60 or maybe 55. That, is going to be the part of debate in Washington.
All right, wait.
In addition to how you're going to pay for it. So
yeah, there you go. That was my next question. I mean, they tell us Medicare is going broke, but they want to put more people on it. Somehow that doesn't balance.
The way, and I'm not an expert in, Washington budgetary matters, but
neither are they. But that's beside
fair enough. What happens is you can pass these rules without your huge amounts of agreement across party lines by proving that if you're going to increase benefits in this way, costs to the government, that you can pay for them. Something called reconciliation.
Right.
And that is apparently the process by which, first of all, that Affordable Care Act has been notably enhanced. We'll get into that, I'm sure.
Yep.
But in addition to that, that is the possible path to lower the Medicare eligibility age, meaning that, that would be a very dramatic change.
Yeah, it has to be a budgetary consideration, but they are limited as to how many times they can use reconciliation. And they're talking about reconciliation now for the infrastructure package.
Right.
They did reconciliation for the stimulus package, and there is a limit. They can't do it universally, continually. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. And what also fascinates me is we're about to talk about the fact that some costs for seniors in healthcare have gone down, but that doesn't appear to be true in Medicare. Particularly the supplements continue. I just got my new notice on my new premium for my Plan F supplement, and it's going to go up. So not everybody is benefiting from these.
I think what you've pointed out is actually a very important thing, which is that I'm going to be talking, we're going to be discussing about health insurance premiums, et cetera. These changes that you see from Washington, they do not change the cost, the underlying cost of healthcare. The cost of an MRI is still X. The cost of a blood test is still Y. So no matter how much money the government has thrown at health insurance premiums for people, the underlying cost still has not changed. The usage rate has not changed. And it's a very, very important distinction, Art, because right from the beginning, what happens is people misunderstand that these are two different topics. And so then it invites all sorts of distortions, whether or not it be intentional or unintentional. And then you get away from the track of the conversation.
All right. So then I would deduce from that, if premiums are going to go down for a certain classification of people, there's going to be a government handout because the cost of what they're providing in terms of healthcare hasn't changed. So somebody's footing the bill someplace.
I don't think there's any question about that. And I think that really Jay and Art are not going to resolve whether or not, right or wrong and things like fair or unfair. But what I am here to say is that the dramatic, that it's not an understatement. You'd probably remember, we've been on the show 20 times together, Art. So, I don't like to overstate stuff easily. This is a game changer.
Big time.
Big time. Absolutely.
All right. We have to take a pause. We're talking to J.O., author of the book Maximize Your Medicare for the, sixth or how many editions now?
Eighth
edition. This one's a national publication now.
That's right.
And we'll talk more about that, too, with Jay when we return. If you have any questions about Medicare or health insurance, you can give us a call, 752-6111. Inside the state of Michigan, 866-790-WSGW. If you're outside the state, you can call 989-752-6111. And while insurance can't cross state lines for purchase, information can. So you're more than welcome to give us a call. We'll be back with more after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music to your ear.
It's new, the newly enhanced XT2 series tractors from Cub Cadet. These lawn tractors have always set the standard for performance and comfort. Now get more strength, durability, and versatility with a strong Kawasaki engine delivering reliable power to tackle your yard, plus a 42-inch heavy-duty fabricated AeroForce deck cutting system delivering a best-in-class cut with fewer clumps, finer clippings, and increased evenness. The tough torque hydrostatic transmission delivers no shifting. Just push the pedal and go. See the new Cub Cadet series tractors today at Woolfiles Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street, Saginaw, where customer service still exists. Open 7 days.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music to your ears.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss America 2020 Camille Schreier. Join me in support of the DEA's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 24th. Please get rid of the unused or expired prescriptions in your medicine cabinet. They could end up lost. Protect your family and our communities, and let's all keep prescription drugs out of the wrong hands. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. That's deatakeback.com.
To all of you do-it-yourselfers, get ready to welcome Fram into the fam. Because America's #1 oil filter brand now has their own new line of motor oil and fluids. And CarQuest Auto Parts. Stop into Advance and choose from 4 new Fram oil change bundles starting at just $20.99. They have the oil and filters you need to keep your engine running stronger, longer. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Designer face masks, DIY haircuts. In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get the same high-quality insurance from Allstate, but at a new low rate. Drivers who switched and saved averaged $718. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not expectations. Visit Allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Reported average annual savings from switching auto by new customers surveyed who saved with Allstate in 2019. In most states, prices vary based on who you buy. Not available in every state. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Just like when the automobile came along and the buggy whip manufacturers were put out of business. When a new technology comes along, people in old their jobs. It happens every time we change technology.
Tom Sullivan.
Which isn't very often, thank goodness, but it always happens.
Tom Sullivan, weeknights at 7.
I still think we need, not necessarily coal, but certainly natural gas, fossil fuels. We're not ready for alternative energy yet.
Tom Sullivan on WSGW.
Selena the singer has become a household name. Now, I'm not talking Selena Gomez. I'm talking Selena Quintanilla Perez. April 16th marks what would have been her 50th birthday. I'm your host, Larry Rodarte, and we're celebrating this week on Mi Gente On Air.
Mi Gente On Air, Sunday evenings at 8 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Chatting with J.O., Maximize Your Medicare, the book, talking about Medicare and health insurance costs. So let's talk about these reductions in premiums or subsidies, if you will, and how they affect different age groups. So
Sure.
Let's start at the younger end of the spectrum and work our way up.
Well, I think even for millennials, and I've sent out the newsletter, over the last months, really, because I've been anticipating this change, Art.
We talked about it the last time we talked. That you
and in fact, months prior to that, meaning that, we don't speculate when you and I talk too much about political matters, but actually what I did think was that if President Biden was ultimately elected, that a substantial enhancement to the Affordable Care Act would be right up on deck, especially in the age of COVID. Absolutely. Yeah. Even millennials, they're very important, which is that, and I don't mean to minimize millennials or the age division by any means, but the reality is that for Mr. Perfect, 28-year-old self, Art, you can remember, you never went to the doctor.
50 years ago, let me see, yeah, something like that.
No health problems. It literally can be that health insurance can be all the way down to zero and as low, even if you have medical situations, less than $100 a month.
Let me ask a question before we move on. Let me ask about the deductible part of that. It's one thing to say insurance is nothing or $100 a month,
right?
But another thing to tell me I've got a $5,000 deductible I got to pay before I can use it. So, I might save on the one end, but am I getting hit on the other end?
You're exactly right, Art, and it's a good point, which is that there are certain plans within the menu of plans in a particular area, which part of the original Affordable Care Act, which is still intact, is if you choose a silver plan, in addition to the lower premium, the cost sharing portions, the deductible that you said, and for deductible, I basically mean in everyday's language, you're first to the register up to the deductible.
Right.
So The deductibles are reduced. The out-of-pocket maximums also reduced. Not for every plan, but for a subset of plans. There are reasons that part of the underlying message here is expert advice, expert help, guidance, is available. That's what I do when I put on my health insurance hat. And it's very, very important, these subtle differences.
The Supreme Court has yet to rule on this issue, have they not? They have it before them?
Surprisingly, they've not come out with it. But again, this is one of those other areas. I have not lost a wink of sleep fearing the Supreme Court to strike down the Affordable Care Act for a variety of reasons, one of which is that the first Q&A from the Supreme Court justices themselves is, this is a legislative matter. Why didn't you try to strike it down with legislation? When that's the first question, things aren't looking great.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, states ultimately run insurance. Since it's a state matter, the states also have lots of extra leeway in order to impose rules. So to add to federal standards, they've done it before. It's active in many states today. There are many, many workarounds here. I don't lose lots of sleep about a Supreme Court ruling. Can I be wrong? Of course, anything can happen, of course, but that's kind of where I stand right now.
What about the discussion of crossing state lines, being able to have insurance purchased from different places in the country? Advantages and disadvantages, and will it ever happen?
Well, in theory, I think it sounds nice. In practicality, health insurance, very, very complicated. So that, for example, in Michigan, at a particular age division on the marketplace, you'll have dozens, literally dozens of plans. And depending on state to state, you're talking possibly up to 100 plans available for a person in a particular state. The issue is that one of the most important, very fragmented aspects about health insurance, which is much better under Medicare, but back to individual health insurance, is the idea of networks. The issue is that the carriers spend a lot of time to kind of create these networks so that when you go to the doctor, you show your card, it's accepted. So now are we really practically going to be able to get J&R Arts Insurance Company of Arizona to set up the network to be able to sell health insurance in Ann Arbor, Michigan? Mm-hmm. Not likely. So sounds good in theory, very difficult in practice.
So let's carry that a step further. Let us say we'll pick a procedure. Let's say you have to have your gallbladder removed.
Sure.
So in Michigan, I go to a Michigan hospital and a Michigan doc, and it costs me X number of dollars. If I transport myself to Colorado or some other state, same cost? Or does the cost of healthcare vary from location to location to location?
The cost, the underlying cost, which kind of deals with what we discussed, what I was commenting in the first segment, it swings wildly. In addition to being very different on geography or location, for example, it's very, very difficult to discover. This is kind of the very complicated soup of healthcare cost, which is that we've got legislation or we've got rules that say the hospitals have to reveal costs, but can a consumer shop for where's the best cost to have my gallbladder removed from your question? Almost impossible.
Well, I've said it many, many times in my history of talking about healthcare. I have never seen a hospital advertise, come stay with us because we're $10 cheaper than the guy down the road. It's come stay with us because we got all the bells and whistles and the best of the best of the best, which, of course, is what I want for my healthcare. I want to know I'm getting the best.
Sure.
So they've settled on it, and we understand that it's not a cost competitive kind of thing, is it?
And it's also complicated because what happens is, let's just say I had this call just the other day. healthcare worker from Pittsburgh had to be located back to Michigan, but covered by their Pittsburgh-based insurance. They don't get coverage because of the way that these fragments work. I've talked about network. There's no coverage for this person, healthcare professional in Ann Arbor, to be covered by that insurance policy.
So wait, now if they have, let's say they live in Pittsburgh or wherever they live in Pennsylvania, and they have Company X's insurance, that Company X won't pay their health bill in Michigan?
Because the fact is that the healthcare provider isn't inside the network, and the particular plan.
It would be an out-of-network plan, right?
This person's particular plan, which was an HMO.
Oh, okay.
You don't get coverage outside of the network.
Yeah. So in fact, as much as we complain about some things, Medicare is a shining example of carrying coverage state to state, isn't it?
It very much is. And again, back to, Maximize Your Medicare, which is try to demystify, and to tell persons that under Medicare, the concepts of network are far superior. You don't have the same type of fragmentation under PPOs, for example. At least the doctor or hospital lab will take it if they accept the federal card. So, there are exceptions to that beyond today's conversation, but still far superior to that of the individual healthcare market, health insurance market.
Then there's the discussion of whether you get an advantage plan or whether you get a supplement plan to your Medicare. We'll come back to that because I want to continue with the healthcare insurance because we only talked about the millennials. Let's go up to the next age group.
Absolutely. So young families, again, especially based on number. So the way the subsidies work, and we probably should have started with this, is that the subsidy is actually a tax credit. And so I've been making a lot of videos and lots of newsletters, etc., to know this fact up front. That means that anything that affects your household income, your taxable household income, will affect the size of the subsidy. The tax
so it's
credit.
Income-based.
Absolutely income-based. So now you've got this combination of your household size, right? Because let's say you had 25 children. Well, you've got a lot more deductions, right? So in other words, your taxable income. So this does affect it. By that same token, you can see it under young families. Young family, 2 children. Middle income, the subsidy notably higher. So again, the same types of percentages where the premium can be 80%, that is absolutely possible.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like I said, it is literally game changer because as you probably can guess, Art, is that many families at every different age division, they're choosing employment options, whether it can be early retirement, whether to work, whether or not they will need to stay at their job, a job that they don't find fulfilling, because of the fact that the cost of health insurance is carried by the employer in part. Well, now all of a sudden, you've got a whole extra set of options that can be examined.
So let's carry it to the next step up. And I assume we're going to talk to people up to the age of 64 or 65, because then we're into Medicare after that.
Right.
What happens to that group? Same thing?
Same thing, and in dollar amounts, quite amazing, which is that if you talk to persons just prior to Medicare, let's just call it 60 to 64.9 years old. Health insurance in any place in the country, high quality health insurance, call it a silver plan just for a moment, that is easily $900 a month. And in a high cost state, the best plans are certainly over $1,000 a month. Certainly. The size of the tax credit can be, again, 80, 90, 100% of the cost. So when you talk about dollars, this is why I've been saying this is larger than the stimulus check by many, many times.
I would have to assume that when we're talking about 80, 90, or even 100%, the higher that number, the lower your income, and you're down near the poverty level if you're getting 100%, I would think.
So formally, the technicals are that what they did when under the American Rescue Plan Act, which is enacted just recently, is they raised the level of income that you could earn and still get the tax credit.
So what's the cap level? Is it similar to what the stimulus level was, $75,000 a year for an individual?
So very complicated soup here. It has to do with the federal poverty level. So this is why I'm saying is that I understand that, people don't want to talk to evil financial people like Jay. That said, getting the most optimal combination of premium level and coverage for your household in your location is complicated. I'm not going to understate that. That said, given what I've said about 80% in certain cases, and in certain cases, certainly 100%, which is that well worth the trouble.
Yeah. All right, hang on. We got to take a break. We're talking to J.O., his book, Maximize Your Medicare, and now its 8th edition. And more with Jay when we return here on the Art Lewis Show for a Saturday morning.
Hi, Marty from Northwoods, where we make the outdoors affordable.
You know you should. You'll feel so good at Northwoods Wholesale Outlet.
Who doesn't need a new pair of quality jeans or shorts for the summertime? We've got Gap, Express, Wrangler, Stanley jeans and shorts. Only $9.99 a pair. Yes, $9.99 a pair, while $25,000 last. And guess what? Fruit of the Loom, first quality, Everlight, crew neck t-shirts, beautiful. While $20,000 last, $1.99 each. A quality gator boot foot wader, only $99.99, and mossy oak waterproof fishing, boating, or camping jacket and bib, only $149.99. Thanks for shopping Northwoods. We're open 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. 306.
The time has come to ask attorney Jerry Wright another question. A power of attorney, is that enough for my estate plan?
Many people think having a power of attorney or a will is all the estate planning they need. While these two legal documents are important, they may not be enough for an effective estate plan.
Why is that, Jerry?
Well, let's look at what each of these documents actually do.
Okay.
A will is a letter to the probate court identifying who gets your personal and financial belongings, which is important after you pass away. A legal or financial power of attorney grants authority to someone else to make these decisions for you while you're alive.
Why isn't that enough then?
Well, first, it's essential to also have a medical directive which grants authority to a person you trust to make healthcare decisions on your behalf when you can't. Sufficient to protect all your assets. Third, depending on each individual situation, plus one or more trusts or limited liability companies.
Thanks, Jerry. If you want more information, register for an upcoming workshop. Visit jerrywrightLawyer.com or call 989-790-1461 today.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a RoofMax shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with RoofMax, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-60.
I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, but haven't talked to your doctor yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family.
We could have other conversations now here on Twitch.
The heart of your
We're still
home.
live.
And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Detroit Tigers baseball is on 790 News Radio WSGW. Goodrum.
Nico swings and hits a high fly ball to center field deep, and it's gone, a home run! Nico Goodrum from the right side, number 1.
Tigers baseball, brought to you in part by Woolfiles Ace Hardware in Saginaw.
Schaefer and Beer Line in Frankenmuth.
All season long, Detroit Tigers baseball is on 790 News Radio WSGW. You're in the Stone Specialist Studios, 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Saturday edition of the Art Lewis Show, talking to J.O., author of the book Maximize Your Medicare, now in its 8th printing and in national distribution, available everywhere good books are sold. Do you have a website, Jay, that they can go to also?
So the official website to the book is www.maximizeyourmedicare.com.
It's easy to remember.
For those outside of Medicare, for other financial matters, gh2benefits.com.
gh2benefits.com.
That's right.
All right. So choosing health insurance can be a daunting task. Can I do it myself? Should I do it myself? Now, of course, I'm in the Medicare realm, so it's a whole different ballgame. But when I say that, I mean it generically. Should a person enter that realm of trying to find health insurance without first sitting down with an expert like yourself?
Well, I'm going to be biased, clearly. The answer for me is no, and the reason for it is not because of a charge or a fee for calling me, because the reality is that on gh2benefits.com there is online quoting where people can shop. You can enroll without contacting or speaking to me. That's not, or one of our persons here. That exists. The issue is talking through all of the issues, kind of like we've talked already over, since we started, which is the number of moving parts inside of health insurance is very complicated, and it's gotten more complicated because of the fact that I've mentioned the idea that this is a tax credit. So as a result, anything affecting taxes, anything, will change the way that the subsidy, the tax credit, works.
This brings up a question. If this is a tax credit, you get it when you file your taxes. In the meantime, is it out of pocket to pay for that insurance?
No, and this is exactly the point, which is that you get the tax credit running today.
So it's an ongoing tax credit.
It's an ongoing.
For it.
You've got it exactly right. So as front on a monthly basis, that's what pushes down, reduces health insurance premium. That also tells you the following, which is that if you make a mistake and you've received an excessively high tax credit to push down your premium.
Uh-oh.
Exactly. And these errors can be dramatic. The example I use is if you win the lotto in December or November, and you've been getting a discount of the tax credit of $1,000 a month since January, you've got to pay back all $11,000, $12,000 when you file your taxes. So you can see that what ends up happening is people are interested in finding out about what their rights and options look like, finding out what the cheapest price would be. That is all understandable. But then just kind of clicking around. And now you can understand by not considering these other topics. And it goes both ways. I don't only want to tell you, negative.
Yeah, no, right.
It is also that you could have gotten a bigger tax credit.
Lost your job, whatever.
Exactly. And that's why I call it a game changer, because literally it's so big that people can change their employment path, etc.
If this rolling tax credit is based on your income, and during COVID-19, let's say for a period of 3 or 4 months, you were laid off, your income went way down. Will the tax credit go up for those months? And then when you go back to work, will it go down? Do they know that? You have to report that? How is it determined?
So a couple of things. First of all, part of the American Rescue Plan is the fact that COBRA costs through the end of this September are paid by the government, by the employer, actually, the employer. Very important. And this is a very subtle point, which is that COBRA generally is very, very expensive. Many people know that. But the fact is, as a result of the American Rescue Plan Act, the COBRA premium is paid through the end of September. Now, directly to your question, the answer is that you need to adjust your reporting.
Okay.
Based on your change in employment status. So
all right, hang on. We got to take a quick break here. Hang on.
Sure.
We're talking to J.O. We'll be back with more here on the Art Lewis Show. How was your sleep last night? You know, today's workers are asked to do more for less. So when you go to bed, you spend a third of your life there. You need quality sleep. You can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. You can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent, and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home. And by the way, if you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress to your exact size, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress factory and showroom, serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call 753-1757. We'll be back after these notes.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying the price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are back with some killer deals just for you. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Cafe 13, the Frankenmuth Aerial Park, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, Beer Garden, and High Country Jumpers. It's true, and it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Stop smoking. Lose weight now without cravings, irritability, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight or stop smoking for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online live Thursday, April 22nd or Saturday, April 24th for the Saginaw area. Details at markpatrickseminars.com. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss America 2020 Camille Schreier. Join me in support of the DEA's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 24th. Please get rid of the unused or expired prescriptions in your medicine cabinet. They could end up lost, stolen, or simply misused. Protect your family and our communities, and let's all keep prescriptions. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. That's DEATakeback.com.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show on this Saturday morning, talking to J.O., author of the book Maximize Your Medicare, and a certified all kinds of planner with more initials after his name than initials in his name. Jay, let's talk about something that, it would appear that the population we have today seem more eager to bail out of work earlier in life rather than later, unlike me. Is early retirement affected by any of this?
Well, first of all, there's only one Art Lewis, so
yeah. Some would say that's more than enough.
It absolutely is the case. So if you add these two together, which is that the individual health insurance tax credit is so dramatic, especially in dollar terms, that people say, okay, well, I'm trying to cover my spouse for health insurance purposes, because that becomes the predominant large cost, literally, to a household, a married couple in their early 60s, or one spouse is Medicare eligible, the other one is not. So what ends up happening is people forego retirement. Now, however, that whole decision-making process has been flipped on its head, because of the fact that the increased subsidies can push down the premiums. And literally in Florida, for example, somebody in the greater Fort Lauderdale area, moderate income, their health insurance premium goes down to zero. Now that person has the flexibility, clearly, to stay in their job or not, and then file for Social Security. In other words, the ripple effect to financial planning topics matters. The entire process is literally flipped on its head. That's why I called it a game changer. That's not even talking about the fact of what happens if Medicare eligibility age declines, in which case you'll have another entire level.
Which is where I want to end up. I want to end up where we started, talking about Medicare. Best guess, and I know you don't like to deal in politics and all of that, so let's put that aside, but best guess, given the fact that we're told Social Security, Medicare financially do not have an infinite lifespan, and the end dates vary wildly depending who's telling you, what's the answer? What do you think the government's going to do?
Well, I think that the primary thing here is whether or not the government, how much leverage the government has to push down healthcare costs. Because as you know, we started today by me making the clarification of the fact that the things that we've talked about are really about government paying for health insurance premium via tax credit. That doesn't change the underlying price of the MRI. So the real question for me is always going to be, if you want to really reform healthcare system as a whole, we're going to push down the cost of that MRI, the cost of the blood panel. Until we get to that spot, we're going to have this ongoing debate without Jay and Art being able to come up with a snappy answer within a 40-minute interview.
I've been trying to do it for years. It hasn't worked.
That's right. That's right. So and this is why I try to focus on these topics that, you've been so cooperative and over these number of sessions, is to try to keep these topics distinct. That's why I don't talk about politics that much, et cetera, because it distracts people away from the things that they should be paying attention to, the things they can control, so that they can make the best decision for themselves. There's my last thing that I'll say with my tongue deeply in my cheek, is Humana, United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield. There's nowhere on the application asking for your political party affiliation. Nowhere.
All right. We're out of time. We got to go. But if folks want to know more, the book, maximizeyourmedicare.com.
That's right.
The other site that you have is
gh2benefits.com. There are all sorts of contact places where you can send emails, phone calls, etc. But those are the places online.
Been fun. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Art. My privilege as always.